Oh, hey guys, I just got to show you an award-winning video that won the Venice Award for AI and Advertising. Here it is.
Hi there, I'm Can the Toucan, the unpaid spokesbird for Mother Nature.
He's unpaid! He's unpaid!
It ruffles my feathers when humans don't take care of the planet. So, let me ask, can you help?
Yes, you can! Yes, you can!
Let me show you. Use refillable water bottles instead of single-use plastics. Walk, bike, or carpool to save gas.
Yes, you can!
Turn off lights when not in use. Hey, I'm working here. Can you do your part to help slow climate change?
Yes, you can!
Hey, are you mocking me?
Well, I am a mockingbird, you know.
Oh yeah, right. Find out how you can help. Visit reclaimplanetEarth.com.
Reclaim the planet!
All right.
Reclaim the planet!
They get the idea.
Guys, it's James here. I'm with Julio, Eric, and Jack. So they recently won an award at Venice Film Awards for AI in advertising. They got top position. So this is like brilliant news. So like I first heard about it, Jack called me, I think a couple hours after he found out from Julio. And honestly, I had tears in my eyes because like this is like a really big achievement. And because I know all of these people, I was really honestly quite happy for them. So I'll just introduce everyone in case you don't know them. So I'll start with Jack. So Jack's quite a legend in the creative scene. He worked on the Happy Meal back when Star Trek Wrath of Khan was out, or Star Trek, one of the first Star Treks in the 70s. So
I launched the Happy Meal by telling Ray Kroc no twice when he wanted to put it in the bag.
and he's I've seen Jack's resume, and it's A4 pages it's full of logos of all brands you would have heard of. It's quite incredible, his background. And then we've got Eric. He's worked for Aflac. He actually came up with the Aflac duck.
Aflac.
So if any of you live in America, the Aflac duck is like a character for the insurance company, Aflac. He's also worked for Burger King, Big Pharma, Heineken, Chase, and Outback Steakhouses, and many other places as well. And then we've got Julio, last but no means least. He's an AI filmmaker and has worked with brands such as AT&T, Intel, and is a creative director, worked in advertising 3 years now. Okay, I wonder who's going to go first. So, all right, so Jack, so I think it was your idea for the concept. You know, how did you come up with the concept?
Well, no. The concept came from Eric. It was my idea to from my nonprofit Reclaim Planet Earth to do something that showed that kids could make a difference. If kids do something, as Mother Nature says, she's my boss, by the way. We didn't inherit the world from our ancestors. We're borrowing it from children. And if we can teach children what to do, their parents will model them. But Eric and Julio are absolutely the creative force behind this product.
So Eric, what was your part on the work? Like, what were you doing?
So when Jack had reached out to me and told me he was doing this effort to, try to educate people, simple little things that they can do to make the planet healthier and, protect against, environmental decline. I thought it was a great idea. And, he thought that, it'd be good to work on it. And I thought that, let me give it a little, time, thought. And I thought, when you talk to people about doing something, you don't want to talk at them. You want to kind of talk to them. And especially when you're trying to tell them to try to do something, you want to find the right tone of voice. And I was just thinking to myself, these are easy things you can do. And I saw that the idea of like, you can do this and you can do that. And do you think you could do it this way? You think you could do it that way? And it kind of had a nice tone to it. And when I thought of I thought of toucan. The idea of a toucan, delivering this message came to mind because, Jack's campaign was having Mother Nature's creatures being spokesperson for the campaign. So, I came up with the idea of, a toucan on a branch, kind of telling us about the different things that you could do. And then maybe there's like a little mockingbird, kind of like a little side character that would kind of just be there for comic relief during certain parts, and came up with a script that Jack loved, and showed him a couple of key visuals of what the toucan and the mockingbird and just what the overall scene would look like and how it would take place. And he loved it. And then, he was smart enough to, through your connection, contact Julio, who's a brilliant film director. And he and I collaborated, and he took that script and those key characters that, I designed, and brought everything to life.
Wow.
I want to add one thing because I interrupt everybody.
There you go.
ADHD. Let's go feed the animals. When originally when I talked to Eric, he said, "Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just redo what you do." And I thought about it, and I got back to him. I said, "My God, you've done such amazing things," and I love writing. I said, "Do it yourself." So then he picked up on it and took it from there. But both these guys were. I always hire people smarter than me, so I did well working with these guys.
Nice. And Julio, can you talk us through like the technical challenges and your processes for getting the lip syncing done?
Absolutely. Jack reached out to me to work on this project through our common connections, obviously. And he provided me this script from Eric. At the moment, I didn't know it was Eric who made it. And I noticed by reading the script a couple of times that this was full of life and full of charm, right? And it was a piece that could be very playful, that could give me a lot of work, a lot of material to work, and elements that could be, as I mentioned, playful to bring to life. So, funny enough, when we were starting this project together, Google had released VO 3, which was the first AI video model that allowed you to generate not just the visuals, but the visuals and the voiceover synced at the same time. So my first instinct obviously was to try VO 3 and see if we could have these characters being able to talk to. So we could sync their big syncing, for lack of a better term, to their speech, to their monologues. And it wasn't working. I did a lot of tests that were actually hilarious. We could do an amazing blooper reel with the terrible video that came out of that experiment. And the logic was simple. Google VO3 didn't see an anthropomorphic face in a bird. In order for these AI systems to animate and make these characters look like human voices and they're talking, they need to understand two eyes and a mouth, kind of as a standard, right? And obviously a toucan, which is kind of like you see the face from the side most of the time, something that the AI system couldn't understand, right? So it took a lot of tries, nothing worked. I tried a different approach with notes and more complex systems, and it just wasn't working. So I had to go one step back and try a large stack of AI tools. All right, so James, as you were asking, it took a lot of iterations of not just the design of the characters, but also the voiceover and the animation. So when I got the script, I had a clear idea where I wanted to go with this. So I consulted with Eric. And for a couple of sessions, I tried to convey as much as possible the realism of these characters and yet keep something whimsy and something charming in it that can be almost cartoony, yet within a sense of realism. So what I'm showing you here on the screen is just some of the mood boards for the character creation in Midjourney. And these are just some. I mean, I literally have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of iterations of these characters in different images, in different stages, in different shots. Obviously, we like to follow the same processes and the same workflows that we've used in the world of film and advertising for decades that had always worked. You start with the script, then you move on to a storyboard. And that storyboard is what allows us to do this. And one of the greatest tools in the world of AI filmmaking is iteration. When you shoot on film or on video, you have limitation with time, with people, with resources, hours of the day, right? And you have to work with a limited number of versions of your shot as a director, right? With AI, you can just keep iterating until you get the shot that you need. So these are just the design shots, but for video, I have for each one of the different tools that I use. I use a large tag, and for each one of them, I have tons of variations of these birds talking to each other, moving, flying away, flying into the branch, landing in the branch. So overall, I had in total close to 700 shots of the birds, between 720p and 1080p resolution from every single video tool in that large tag that I mentioned. Another thing I wanted to mention is the voiceover. It was a joy to create voices from scratch with a tool like 11 Labs. We're happy. I was happy that the new version of 11 Labs came out at the time that we're doing this, which allowed me to create not just voices from scratch by prompting very specific characteristics and find a middle ground between not too silly, not too infantile, not too childish, and not too serious, right? And keeping that level of charm.
I think.
Sorry.
I think weren't we originally trying to get like have a Caribbean accent like that because of the
happening.
What we thought, like, well, where are toucans, origin, where do they live? So a lot of them are in the Caribbean or Spain or something like that. I can't remember exactly. And we were trying to get that kind of like accent to the bird, but we thought it'd be funny. But I think at the end I thought
we tried a couple of options. Yeah. I remember you suggested, because obviously it's a tropical bird, it would be nice to have some sort of Caribbean accent. So we tried something like Central American Spanish, like something from, I know, Costa Rica, where a lot of toucans live. And also from the southern islands of the Caribbean, where a lot. So a Jamaican accent, a Trinidadian accent would be really good. And I tried, and it wasn't landing with 11 Labs. So we went to something a little more neutral in accent, but we amped the chart, right? And it ended up being really good. And the interaction between the little mockingbird with the screechy voice and the more serious, more mature toucan turned out to be like very charming. People love it. And in that final scene when the toucan is kind of calming down, the very over-enthusiastic mockingbird is something that people absolutely love. Every time I've showcased the ad, people just laugh out loud at the ad. So props to these two gentlemen for coming up with that idea and developing a set of characters that are charming, that are very easy to translate, to work with as a filmmaker because the charm is built in.
Great. That's a good place to end it, actually. Yeah, thank you all for coming on and putting some time aside. Yeah, I really appreciate it.